All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to listen to our program. And as always, we welcome any criticism, suggestions, feedback, for we know that those things will improve the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. On today's episode, I want to talk about cutting one's losses. In life, there have been times that we've all had to make a very difficult decision or easy decision, whether it's to extricate ourselves from a difficult position, get out of a relationship, get out of a job, leave something that is no longer beneficial for us. And I think this is what the Dallas Cowboys faced with 2017 first-round draft pick, borderline bust, Batonde, if I'm pronouncing his first name correctly, a.k.a. Taco Charlton. So in keeping up with the Taco Tuesday, recently Taco Charlton posted on his social media, on his Twitter account, that something to the effect of free me, and he wants to be released from the team. Now, on this show at Chin Check, we are definitely pro-athlete. This is not a show to attack Taco Charlton in a negative way. We're only talking about on-field production, or in his case, lack of on-field production. So, Taco Charlton was drafted number 28 in the 2017 draft out of the University of Michigan. Now, up till now, Taco Charlton's stats are 46 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Now, you can look at his stats and say, okay, a few years in the league, let's see. Now, the issues with Taco Charlton was, I remember in 2017, it was a preseason game, and I forget who they played in that particular Hall of Fame game. And I remember Shannon Sharp from Undisputed was talking about how he really didn't see a lot of athletic talent from Taco Charlton because, again, in the preseason, teams really haven't schemed for you. Everything is very vanilla, so you can get by on a lot of your athletic ability. And I thought that was kind of interesting when he said that, because I remember when DeMarcus Ware first came into the league and I saw a preseason game and the talent immediately jumped right off the screen. So I kind of took that with a grain of salt, but I didn't want to read too much into it because I wanted to give Taco Charlton the benefit of the doubt. Now, when Taco Charlton came on the team, he was the backup defensive end behind Tyrone Crawford. Now, what I find funny is his not being able to get on the field. And you heard stories out of Dallas that he's fallen out of favor with the coaches. He does not have a strong work ethic, personality conflicts. Whatever the reason, he has not been able to see the field, which I find funny because there is an opening at the other defensive end spot. Now, DeMarcus Tank Lawrence has had his best couple seasons. That recently he was rewarded with a multi-million-dollar contract and a well-deserved contract, but the other defensive end spot was open. You had people filling in like Randy Gregory, who's been in and out of the league for drug suspensions, who is currently suspended again. They've went through Benson Mayowa. They've gone through a bunch of other players. And why, as a first-round pick, and I'm sure that you were afforded more opportunities than the average player, but yet now you have not been able to secure and lock down a starting defensive end spot, and in reality, even a backup defensive end spot as a first-round draft pick. So you do have to kind of look to see what Taco Charlton has been doing, or in this case has not been doing, to get on the field on a consistent basis to help with production with the team. So let's compare Taco Charlton with his contemporaries, okay? Now, in that same draft, the number 1 overall pick, and by the way, I'm comparing other defensive ends in that draft. So other defensive ends drafted in the first round. Now, number 1 pick overall was Myles Garrett to the Cleveland Browns. His statistics up to this day are 80 tackles, 22.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. Number 2, Solomon Thomas, taken by the San Francisco 49ers, 75 tackles, 5 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. Not very good for number 2 overall pick, but that's for San Francisco 49er fans to deal with. Number 14, Derek Barnett of the Philadelphia Eagles. 43 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 defensive touchdown. Number 17, Jonathan Allen from the Washington Redskins. 71 tackles, 9 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumble recovery. Number 22, Charles Harris of the Miami Dolphins. 38 tackles, 3 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumble recoveries. Number 26, Takk McKinley. 42 tackles, 13 sacks from the Atlanta Falcons, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. And number 30, TJ Watt, younger brother of defensive stalwart JJ Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 130 tackles, 21 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 10 pass deflections, and 1 interception. So let's compare, and I just read you the statistics from other first-round picks, other defensive and first-round picks who were drafted along with Taco Charlton, and you're comparing his production with their production. So compares favorably with some guys on the list, but other guys, in fact, blow him out of the water. So again, there's something there as to why he's not a contributor. And the reason why I bring that up, because in that very same draft, at number 60 in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys drafted cornerback Chidobe Awuzie. At number 92 in that draft, they drafted Jordan Lewis. And at number 191, they drafted Xavier Woods. Now, those 3 guys are key contributors on the team. Chidobe Awuzie is one of our starting corners and a very good corner at that. So you have, in that draft, you had 4 players drafted high or relatively high, and Chidobe Awuzie is a starting quarterback. Jordan Lewis has been a key contributor, as well as Xavier Woods. Recent injuries be damned. And yet, Taco Charlton cannot see the field on a consistent basis. So the team clearly drafted for defense, and in that particular draft, they did draft heavy for defense. When you draft heavy for defense and you cannot get on the field on a consistent basis and you are being deactivated, or i.e. a healthy scratch, there's something there that is missing why he can't get on the field. Now, also in that same draft, let me just read a couple of names for you of a few players who were in that same draft, and you might have heard of a few of them who are highly productive for their team. Here we go. Jamal Adams, Pro Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, I don't know, the reigning MVP who's picking up right where he left off. Christian McCaffrey, who should have went to a Pro Bowl last year, is probably going to go to a Pro Bowl this year. Marshawn Lattimore, Pro Bowl. Deshaun Watson, Pro Bowl. The aforementioned TJ Watt, Pro Bowl. Safety Budda Baker, Pro Bowl. Dalvin Cook, who's playing at a high level. Obviously, he's back. Hopefully, we're going to pray that Dalvin does not get injured anymore. Juju Smith-Schuster, Pro Bowl. Alvin Kamara, Cooper Kupp, Kareem Hunt, and James Conner. So clearly there's something there. Excuse me. Clearly there's something there where Taco has been unable to see the field on a consistent basis. And my thing was this. Taco, if you went out of town, brother, do you need help packing? And again, this is not to knock your character. I'm sure you're a nice guy. You're probably the best guy that there ever is. But we're talking about strictly on the field production. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are at a real critical time where they are trying to make the playoffs, advance in the playoffs, go to at least the NFC Championship game, try to at least make it to the Super Bowl, and even win the Super Bowl. So right now, it is important that the team be on the same page. If you have the one individual who does not want to be there, you let them go. Right now, the team is a young defense. They're starting to gel. And as I stated in the previous podcast, that I'm starting to see a bit of a lack of pass rush in Dallas. You would think that Taco Charlton being a first-round draft pick would fill that void, but clearly there's something there why the team has not played him. So we're at a stage now as a team, as they are trying to make a run deep into the playoffs. The offense is gelling. We need the defense to gel a little bit better. You have a bunch of young stalwarts on that team. We need everybody to be on the same page. We don't have time for one person to be the individual in a team that's trying to go far in the postseason. So, brother, if you need help packing, let me know. Dallas, make a deal for him. I don't know if it is for a second-round draft pick, a third-round draft pick, or Go and get you a couple picks for him or trade a player and some picks, but make the deal, let it happen. Dallas, cut your losses. It's not working out. You cannot hold up a roster spot for somebody who is not seeing the field on a consistent basis, is not being productive on a consistent basis. You hear all these stories in Taco Charlton that he is a training camp MVP or training camp All-Pros. It does not relate to All-Pros on the field, and you can ask the tight end experiment that went boom. What's the guy's name? Rico Gathers. So we don't have time for that. We need on-field production. This is a win-now league, and the team is 2-0. They're flowing well. I can see a couple more wins coming up on the horizon, so we don't have time for foolishness right now. If the man does not want to be there, let him go. We wish the best to you. And as for the Dallas Cowboys, cut your losses, and make the deal. So this is for the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. Again, thank you for listening to our program, and until the next time, signing off.